Angela. How are
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. So Angela is our very first patient ever in our office. We've been open for 3 years, so we've known her for 3 years,
That's so
basically.
crazy.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So she came to us because Alan was getting his hair cut one day by this wonderful person, and it
Hmm.
happened to you, and you were so nervous about coming over, but you were like, "Okay, I'm just gonna do it." So, I want you to explain that first step that you took to come over to our clinic and finally, take that step to do the actual work that you put in yourself to lose your weight.
Well, so I had a friend that had done semaglutide, and I saw a picture of her, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she had dropped so much weight." I mean, she'd probably lost like 35 or 40 pounds, but it like was significant enough where I was like, "You look different. Like, what's going on?" And she told me she was on semaglutide. And I was like, "Oh," but I went to my regular, like, family doctor, and I asked him if I could get on Ozempic, and he said no, that I had to there was, like, protocol for it. And so I had to do, like, metformin for, like, 6 months, and then anyways, the medication was, like, $1,300, I think. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be fat." I had just had a baby. I was, like, struggling with anxiety too, and I had been heavy for a little while, like, I wasn't always heavy my whole life, but I had been heavy since I had kids, and, like, I'd lose, like, the same 10 to 15 pounds and gain it back, and it was just so frustrating, and, Alan came in to my work, and I was cutting his hair, and I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, we're opening a med spa." And I was like, "Oh, where?" And he's like, "Literally across the street." And I was like, "Oh, so what do you do there?" Like, 'cause, you know, everybody does a little something different. And he goes, "Oh, we're doing these weight loss supplements and just like everything wellness and hormones." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I had just gone to an endocrinologist as well because um I had like postpartum anxiety pretty bad, like to the point where I was like, I feel crazy but they couldn't do anything for me because I was still nursing, and they literally just were like, "Well, sorry, like, you're gonna have to wait until you're done nursing." And I was like, "I don't feel normal." And so he's telling me about how your daughter had been on semaglutide. And I was like, "Oh, is that the same as Ozempic?" And he's like, "Yes, it's very similar." And he's like, "You should come see us." And I sat there that night thinking about that. And I was like, I'm gonna make an appointment. I get on the online thing, which I'm always like extra nervous about online stuff anyway. I do everything wrong on the internet, and I think I made an appointment and canceled like really fast a couple times. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it and see what they have to say and figure it out. And then I met you, and you made me feel so comfortable and just like I could really do this. And I remember like weighing myself in your um little in the spa, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't," like, I was embarrassed, and you just didn't make me feel dumb that I was big, and I I just felt very, like, comfortable really, like, immediately around you. And so I feel like when you're comfortable with the person that's helping you, you can really be honest, because I think a lot of people lie to their providers
We
because
do.
they're embarrassed or, they whatever, and so I didn't feel like not that I ever have done that, but, like, I could see why people would, and yeah, so I've lost, I think, 95 pounds since I started,
I
which
was
it
gonna
has
say
been.
that.
Huh?
I was just gonna ask that. That's crazy.
I
It's
know,
amazing.
and it's funny because I didn't see it for a long time, and nobody really said anything, like, the first probably 50 pounds, which shows how big I was, right? Like, you lose 50 pounds and no one really notices, you're like, "Oh my gosh," and you feel kinda defeated, but it obviously, like, even the first 10 pounds, I could feel just a difference in my health. And then I think you also put me on like progesterone, which really helped all like anxiety for sure. I feel like I kinda calmed down. I kinda got my hormones back, which is also helpful, right? Like, with weight loss, if you wanna lose weight, and I think I'm smaller now than I was in high school, and I've, like, maintained it. So
So impressive. When a person comes to me that is nervous, the first thing in my mind is let's make them as comfortable as possible. I've been there and I'm still, I still have lots of weight to lose, but I have a different condition that stops me from losing weight. In your situation, I think you had a little bit of insulin resistance and a little bit of off the hormonal, ranges. So we kind of balanced that, and then we got you on the semaglutide, and then you did the work, which was crazy because you were so down on yourself that I was so impressed that you took the initiative and worked your butt off.
yeah, it was hard. But what was nice about that was I am a big sweet tooth, like, I want everything sweet. I could eat sweets all day long and not have regular food, and, like, the semaglutide really helped me. I'm sure the hormone stuff too, actually, like, thinking about it, because my hormone levels probably were off, and it just made me crave sugar more, but, like, that food noise that you get, like, I didn't have that, like, when you're trying to, like, diet and then you're like, "I just want a cookie," or "I'm gonna kill somebody," like, that is what that helped, so I feel like using it like a tool is what you need to do. Like, people go on things and they won't lose weight and they'll be just I mean, obviously, you're discouraged. You want it to work. It's kind of like you're spending, like, a decent amount of money on it, but, like, I'm gonna spend money on my weight no matter what,
Yeah.
you
I'm
know? And so I kind of thought of it as I'm eating way less, so I'm kind of, like, balancing that out, right? So it
exactly.
was totally worth it, and it did help with that food noise so I could make better habits, and yeah, so
Mhm. I think
it's
that's what the goal is to kind of make the habits or change the habits. Because 6 weeks into doing something a little bit different, your body, changes. It doesn't need what it had previously, and that includes exercise, that includes, doing a low carb diet or whatever you decide to change in your life, I don't know. I don't know, just so many different things that can change. If you've done it for 6 weeks, then it pretty much becomes a habit. So, I think that's what happened with you and, people that what you were saying before that actually use this as just a magic pill, it's not possible
well, you
to
can gain weight if you don't use it like a tool.
right, because it's
You're
gonna
still
metabolize
eating.
your sugar, and if you
Mhm.
add sugar to your diet and really that's all you eat is sugar and carbs, you will have a really hard time losing weight unless you're working out a lot, which,
Yeah.
I think you implemented that, right? You implemented working out.
I was working out even in the beginning, but I wasn't losing anything. Like, I think I gained weight, and I hate when you talk to, like, trainers and you're like, "I'm working out and I'm gaining weight," and they're like, "Oh, you're just gaining muscle." I'm like, "No." Like, you should still be dropping something, like, something should look different, and nothing was, and it's so defeating because I was pretty active at the time,
Yeah.
um, and I could always be a little bit more active now, but, like, I mean, I'm in nursing school now, and I haven't gained any weight in nursing school, which any school to not gain weight is good,
It's like
but, like, that's
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I am so proud that I haven't.
You should be.
And yeah, so you
Mhm.
guys changed my life.
You're so sweet, and honestly, you changed ours because you're the very first person that came into our office. So, honestly, I feel like, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have accomplished what we accomplished because you were just such um, you were there for a lot of things, and can I say, that this lovely girl actually came to work for us as well, and we love her so much, but she decided to go to nursing school, and that's okay. It's better in our life, so we love that. So I wanted to kinda, like, talk about really quick, if you don't mind, your husband as well. He kinda jumped on this too, and
He did.
so how's he doing with it?
He's doing so good. He actually just he's been really trying his whole mindset changed because I was telling you about him when I was on semaglutide for maybe, like, what, 2 months? Just a couple months, and he it was around Christmas, And we went to Festival of Trees, and you know how like the lights sometimes if you look at them, you kind of see them in your eyes sometimes? Well, we were there and his eyes were doing that, and he thought it was from the Christmas lights, and he couldn't see. Like, he literally was seeing spotty vision, and it was because his A1C was 13. And
Yep.
I remember telling you about that, and I was like, "He won't like, I can't get him to come in." And you're like, "Just try to get him to come in." And I finally did, and he's lost I'm trying to think. I think at that time, I think he's lost close to 60 or 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
weaned himself like, you guys weaned him off the shot, and he has just, like, slowly been, like, working out to maintain it, and he, like, literally has not missed a day since January. I think it was, like, January 2nd or something. He's worked out every single day, and he just adds a little bit more every day, and he is doing so good. And it's funny because when you live with somebody, you don't see it, and I've been looking back at photos, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, you look so small." I mean, like, in a good way, right? Not, like, small, like a little teeny person, but he's
No,
looking very fit.
yeah, he's got good muscle
He's
structure.
got he does, and he's, like, feeling really good about himself. He's way more active than he's ever been. He's not diabetic anymore.
That's what's pretty impressive about this medication. It can metabolize your sugars to the point where you are no longer needing any help for your diabetes because you've brought that A1C down, your insulin resistance has actually changed because you're changing your life. So you're changing the food, the diet, your habits, and that's what both you and your husband did. And oh my gosh, we're gonna put the side by side of both you guys up here in just a minute because I want you guys, everybody who's watching this, to see this drastic change and this change that continued. Because remember, this started 3 years ago for her. She lost all this weight and maintained the weight loss. So if you think, I'm talking to the people out there that are watching this, that you cannot continue your weight loss or maintain your weight loss after being off of the semaglutide or being on a maintenance plan, then you're sorely mistaken because she's proof in the pudding and so is your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know you're busy. I know you have children and you go to school full time and work, but most people who do all that, all they do is throw junk in their mouth because they don't have time to eat properly. They don't have time to exercise, but you're doing it all. You're doing absolutely everything that we all wish that we could do on a daily basis, and you're accomplishing it. Majority of people, they actually can get this done, but it causes a lot of um, they don't get enough sleep at night, etc. But you're seeming to manage it really well in your life.
Well, I think by, like, coming and doing my blood work, like, every 6 months and checking my hormones, I think that helps too because we can catch it before I'm
Before it
like
gets out of whack.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
then I think checking in with you too is helpful just because it kinda keeps me accountable,
mm,
you know,
that's true.
to,
Hmm.
like, I don't want you to see if I gained weight or whatever, you know,
Right.
but
That is one of the neat things about people who do come in on a weekly basis to do their weigh-ins. Although Angela's not doing that anymore, we are actually seeing her at least every 6 months, if not more. And then we can maintain her hormone levels, make sure those are good, make sure she hasn't redeveloped insulin resistance or anything else that needs a little tweak. So yeah, it's really important to continue to check in. Not everybody that is on our weight program does the hormone program too, but they should.
yeah, the
Yeah.
hormones are huge,
For
and they
sure.
can make or break you.
They can make you severely depressed if you're deficient in certain. I believe. Do you mind if I mention what you were originally on your hormones? She was very estrogen dominant and then very progesterone deficient. Estrogen dominance causes you to gain weight, and also lots of bloating, emotional like mood swings, and then insomnia, sometimes anxiety, stress, and depression. I'm not saying that she had all that, but I'm just saying that that's the things that could happen. And so I think that was one of the reasons why you were able to lose weight because you lost a lot of water initially.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It was just, like,
Anyway,
the first time I had been stuck at, like, my weight for over a year, and, like, nothing I did was helping. until I came and saw you. So
And you just are so gorgeous, and your husband's so cute, and you guys make the cutest little couple, and you guys have the cutest little family. I
oh,
love your kids
yeah.
so much. So I do appreciate absolutely everything that you've done for our little clinic, and I appreciate you coming on. So,
Yeah,
do you
I
have any
appreciate you
closing
guys.
remarks?
No, just you can do it. Darlene is a great, I don't know, like just person in general, but like a great provider. She really cares. She really cares about like your success. And it's not just like a check to her or like money to her. Like she wants to help you and she can, like she can help you. So,
For sure. I want to see you all succeed.
yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Thank you so much for saying that. And if you guys wouldn't mind liking, giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and maybe even sharing with your friends, that's how we get the word out and we get to be able to continue to do these. And I just want to say thank you again to Angela. She's the best in the West. And say thank you to your husband too for all that he's done for us too.